What is up, guys? I'm your friendly neighborhood web war fanatic, and we are back here with another hero tier list debate. This time I have Stretch22 on the channel, and he is a quote unquote tryhard player. I'm also a tryhard player, so I thought this would be perfect to do a power ranking tier list. But these tier list videos are way too long, so we're only going to be talking about the X-Men here. And we'll be ranking every single X-Men, or not X-Men, mutants. So we have the X-Force characters here as well. Like, we have like Cable and Domino and stuff like that. So all the mutant characters in the game. And we'll be power ranking them for true solo.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me back on. We did a podcast a little bit ago talking about the symbiote suit, which you should all check out. And glad I did a okay enough job on there to get invited back. So thanks for having me.
Yes, you did a great job. That was a very fun video too. Very insightful
Thanks.
as well.
And I do have fun every once in a while. I let myself have a little bit of fun as a treat. But yeah, most of the time I'm just trying to beat my head against the wall.
Yeah, thank you, Stretch, so much for making the time again to come back on the channel. All right, so I think that's okay. There's a few caveats that I want to get out of the way before we get on this tier list, and I do want to go, down and break down each tier so that the audience knows what we're talking about and our different criteria. Because I know that you play on heroic mode, and I want people to understand, where you're coming from as well. So the first thing I think we should talk about is why is Spider-Ham and Hulk on this list? Well, they aren't mutants. We're not going to be ranking them. But Stretch and I, we both kind of agree that Spider-Ham is one of the strongest heroes in the game. And I believe Stretch thinks that he is the strongest hero in the game. So just so you guys kind of know like where our head is at, we're going to put him in the S tier just as a reference. So, if you guys are seeing like, for example, if all the mutants are, B tier or higher, because they're like very strong, this is kind of why we don't have any mutants, like maybe in the C tier or D tier. We may have them in the lower tiers, I'm not sure, but that could be a reason why. So to see that Spider-Ham is this high. And then Hulk, Stretch believes, is the weakest hero in Marvel Champions, so we have him to represent the D tier here. So because we're not doing every single hero in the game, the list might look a little bit weird. And then another caveat that I wanted to go through was Uncanny X-Men. So this card, it's a leadership team card for the X-Men characters. And basically, I'll put it somewhere on the screen for you guys to see. This is one of the most powerful cards in the game of Marvel Champions, and it can definitely skew a lot of the rankings, right? So whenever, like for me personally, I don't think that every single X-Men character is strongest in a leadership build with the Uncanny X-Men or with like a leadership recursion. What do you think, Stretch? Do you think that that's like the strongest card for all these characters? And do you like how much are you going to evaluate that whenever you're doing this tier list here?
I think a lot of the time it would be. Um, so one thing kind of on that point, like the way I sort of think about tier lists is, I want to grade all heroes like on an even curve. Like I have exactly as many heroes B and higher as I have C and below. But X-Men and like Mutant is like just a really good trait to have in terms of the cards that those heroes can put in their decks. So Uncanny X-Men is a perfect example. Utopia is another one, just really strong card. I mean, those basically go in the same kind of deck. But so this is going to be, I think, probably a bit maybe skewed towards the stronger tiers. Um, but yeah, a lot of that is because a lot of these characters share the ability to play these really strong X-Men trait payoff cards like Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then if you guys have not seen this type of video before, we have three rules for this type of video. So it's a hero tiers debate, and basically the rules are we will take turns ranking, one of the heroes here, and we can put him anywhere in the tier list. Then the next person can either skip a turn to move a hero up or down a tier. So if like Stretch puts, Angel in the B tier, I can skip my turn to move Angel, to the A tier or to the C tier and anywhere in that tier, but I can't move Angel all the way down to D tier or move him all the way up to the S tier. So wherever the person that picks the hero kind of has like a decent say of where it's going to go. And then finally, only the most recently placed hero can be moved. So if Stretch puts Angel, right here, and I put, Bishop right here, Angel is forever locked in that spot and we cannot move him anymore. So it's kind of a done deal there. So it might be an advantage to try to, move your favorite heroes where you want to see them.
These are all in the context of a solo game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Stretch, you want to talk a little bit about your like viewpoint of playing heroic? Are these like in terms of like power rankings for heroic, or is it for kind of us common folk?
No, so yeah, so one thing I say a lot, on my channel, I think I might have said it on the podcast as well. Generally speaking, the relative ranking of heroes is going to be the same as you cross from standard to expert to heroic, except for very marginal cases where you have heroes who give like rebates when they, face certain kinds of encounter cards, like Spider-Man when he gets attacked, or Winter Soldier when he can kill more minions. But in general, the ranking is going to be the same. Now, heroic will sort of expose more than some of the easier difficulties who's actually like an elite hero versus just a good hero. So I like to think I have a bit of a perspective there to speak on. But in general, you can take these to be my rankings, whether it was standard, expert, or heroic, all in terms of who I think has the relative expected win rates against the average scenario.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty similar perspective, even though I don't really play heroic. For me, one of the biggest criteria for, these heroes is how well they face off against the tougher scenarios, on Expert 1, which is, Expert Magneto, Venom Goblin, and Ronin, because I feel like that kind of exposes the hero more, right? Because if a hero just destroys, weak scenarios and they feel really powerful, to me, that's not really a big, factor of like determining is that hero actually strong or weak, because if they're actually, tested against a more difficult scenario, then their weaknesses could show more. And then I do think that, like standard 2, expert 2, this also kind of falls in that line, because a lot of those cards surge, and heroic is, essentially surging with like an extra encounter card every single turn. So I think that's a lot of what makes the hard difficulties more difficult as well. Oh, and one other caveat before everyone gets upset at us. This is entirely subjective. This is just our personal opinion, guys, right? So this is just, Stretch's experience playing Marvel Champions and my personal experience playing Marvel Champions. We're going to disagree with each other, and probably you guys will disagree with one of us or both of us, or you might agree with both of us, which is going to be awesome. But, this is just our experience, right? We may put your favorite hero down low or down really high. It's just our personal opinion of how strong that we think they are. We could be wrong, right? This is not anything that's a factor or anything like that.
Generally speaking, my opinions are correct and objective, but if you want to say that yours are more subjective, by all means, just listen to me.
Yeah, okay. I am subjective. Stretch is entirely objective. Get at him in the comments. Don't get at me, guys. Yeah, okay. So, Stretch, since you are the guest, you can have the first pick here. You can put whichever hero that you want, wherever you want on the tier list.
Sure. Do you mind if I just say a little bit about what I'm thinking about of each hero? I'll kind of spend a few minutes here, but then it'll make the rest of it go faster.
Yeah.
So like there's kind of 3 components to every hero that I think about. The identity card, the 15 signature cards, and then other aspect and basic cards, particularly maximized by that hero. So among these 3 things, the identity card is really huge for me because it starts the game in play. We have its abilities every single turn. So the relative difference between 2 heroes, where like one has an identity card that's generating a resource of value every turn versus one that's not, like that stacked up turn over turn is such a bigger difference than just having identity specific cards that are marginally better that you're only going to see like, 1 to 3 times each deck pass. So I'm probably going to start every single hero with like what I think about their identity card, but then talk about the signature cards and then cards that hero maximizes as well, which is definitely a part of the conversation. So that's sort of where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually completely agree with that. Like I have like hero evaluation charts that I do whenever I do a hero review. And a lot of those check marks are tied into the identity, like what's their printed Thwart stat, what's their alter ego ability, what's their hero ability. Like I think that's very important because they have that reliability. If it's printed on their card, you don't have to draw into it like with an event or something like that. So it's really cool that we have the a similar perspective on that.
Okay, so I'll start us off then, kind of with a perfect example to talk about some of those things. And let's try to start on a positive note as well. I might be more negative than you on some as we go throughout. I do unfortunately have the advantage of having seen your previous tier ranking videos, so I kind of know where you might put some of these. So I'll try not to abuse that too much, but I'm going to go ahead and pick out Psylocke first. And let's go drop Psylocke in the A tier for a very strong hero. So Psylocke starts the game with 2 totally free resource generators in play. So that's just incredible value. She can also pivot between having 3 thwart 4/3 attack by flipping those Psi Energy upgrades. So her identity card is like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Her identity specific cards are pretty solid. She has a lot of confusing, which is really good in solo. Maybe why I don't put her at S tier is because she is really built around the confusing. And so when we face the steady stalwart villains, she's not like completely wiping the floor with them. But I think just Psylocke, very strong, deserving of A tier for me. And the psionic trait is incredibly powerful as well in terms of aspect and basic cards she can utilize.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving this. I feel like we're starting on a great note. I don't exactly remember my old tier list. Some things have changed though, so maybe I'll surprise you because as I played more of the heroes, some of my opinions of them have like went up and down. I feel like I always put Psylocke in A tier as well. You guys can fact check me on that, but I think that Psylocke is a strong hero deserving the A tier. I mean, for all the reasons you said. I mean, she essentially has a printed Thor set of 3, right? Because she has that, on turn 1. So I feel like that's super duper powerful, to clear off, player side schemes if she wants or whatever initial side schemes are in play. And then I think the worst thing with her is just the obligation. That thing is nasty. Like I hate that obligation because it like stays in play. It like it exhausts your upgrades and it flips them as well to the katana one, which is the one that I usually want less. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I think that she's a very strong hero. She has cancels as well, so very flexible, good control. Yeah, I completely agree with that. This is a great start for us. We're in agreement here, which I like.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not gonna move it then? You're just
Nope.
you're gonna pick your own?
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So Psylocke is now locked in A tier. So now I get to pick a hero. And let's see. I think I want to keep this positivity going. I want to, have us rolling on a good start here. So I think you mentioned something about this, and I entirely agree. I always have Bishop in the S tier. I think he is one of the strongest heroes that came out. And I mean, there's not too much bad thing to say about Bishop. I mean, oh, so the good things. I mean, he has 12 hit points. That's crazy. 2 Thor, 2 attack, 1 defense. Who cares about defense, guys? You just want to throw or attack anyways. His recovery, I believe, is 4. So even if you take the hits, he can just recover that back. Um, and then he has one of the best alter ego abilities, like temporary displace. When you flip down to alter ego, you can grab a temporary card. You can discard power, add to your hand. You want a resource for that. I know a lot of people talk about how his build works with when you get the uniform down, he feels invincible. I played several games where I don't even play the uniform. I don't think he even needs it. He's that good. So yeah, very, very strong hero. Has good economy, good thwarting, good damage, all that stuff.
Yeah, you said it. I'm very restrictive on what I put in S. Like I maybe only have 2 to 4 total heroes in S. So I'm perfectly happy with Bishop to be in S as well. If you would have put him at A, like I wouldn't have gone out of my way to move him up to S, but I'm definitely not going to move him down. So I'm good there.
Awesome.
Okay, let's go. Okay, we'll stay positive for now. We can swing it the other way in a bit. Actually, I wonder, I don't know if everyone has this hero as high as I do, but one hero, I think this is my most played hero in Marvel Champions,
Wow.
which is Phoenix. So Phoenix is actually very similar to Psylocke, so I'm going to say a lot of the same things. She starts the game with 4 power counters, so she can use those as resources once per phase. So very good resource generation. You might run out, but that's, the early turns are the most important turns to have those resources. And then once she runs out, she becomes unleashed. And then she has some of the most busted cards in the game once she's actually unleashed. She has mind control, which is one of the most busted cards in the game. And that 3 thwart that she comes in with is really, really powerful. And for completing lots of the best player side schemes in the game. So I've got Phoenix at A, strong. She's not at S because, in one part, because she has maybe the worst nemesis in the game with Dark Phoenix. And there is some awkwardness in the early turns with those Unleash cards. Like they're not as great plays on the early turns. But I think the resource generation and the 3 thwart makes up for it. She's also a psionic character, so she can use Scimitar, Power of the Mind. Cerebro is insane. So for those reasons, I've got her at A.
Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so question for you. If Phoenix did not have that nemesis minion, if she had like, like a regular, the vulture as her nemesis, right? would she be a S tier hero for you? Is the Nemesis holding it back that much, or is it like not that much?
No, probably not. I think one of the hallmarks of the S character for me is generating multiple additional resources of value per turn on the identity card. So Phoenix, she can do it each phase, which means you could do a villain phase event with her ability, but then you're going to run out of those counters faster. So I think she doesn't have that element to bring her to S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone that's watched, these hero tier list debates, I generally have a rule where if the other person thinks a hero is A tier, and I think that the hero is, B tier, I won't waste my turn to just drop them down a tier. I'll usually only waste a turn if I like disagree like 2 tiers down. But this tier list is a little bit different because we have such few characters here, only the X-Men. So I feel like it's more like crucial where we place each one. And I'm ready to stir some drama up. So Phoenix is actually B tier for me. And although normally I wouldn't drop her down, I will do it right now for this list. So I'm going to drop Phoenix down to the B tier, wasting my turn, skipping my turn in order to do that. And yeah, so similar to you, I don't think her nemesis is like enough to drop her down like a tier. Like whether she had a nemesis minion or not, I would still put in a B tier. I don't think it factors in enough for me to be like, okay, the nemesis is so bad that I gotta put her down to a C tier. But Phoenix is such a weird one, and I don't know if I can explain it well. So on paper, she's like the best. Like I don't understand. Like on paper, she looks so good, right? Having the 3 thwart, being able to switch to 3 attack whenever she's unleashed, right? So then you can like late game get that damage, and in early game you have that thwart, which is like thwarting is more important. Early game attacking is more damage. Attacking is more important, not more damage. Late game, right? So I think that she has all of that. All of her cards look so good as well. It's just something about her whenever I play her, I feel like vulnerable. Maybe it's because of her like hit points of 9. But even with that, she has like I think it's called Rise from Ashes, where it's kind of like a card that like lets her die and still not get defeated. Like everything about her looks so good. But the more that I play her, I just feel like she is not on the level of other A tier heroes. I do still think that she's very good and very powerful. But like what I'm expecting to do from her, it could just be my expectations. Like I'm thinking like I just put a bunch of player side scheme that she can just easily thwart that out. Like on turn 1, turn 2 doesn't matter because she has that base thwart stat of 3. But like it just never works out exactly how I want her to. And I recently played a strength and diversity deck with her, which I thought was very fun and powerful. But even then, I felt like there were multiple moments in the game where if I got really unlucky, like it would have swung the other way. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's gonna be a B tier hero for me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to discredit your experiences, but yeah, that's just going to be a difference from us then.
Yeah, no, feel free if you want to like give a rebuttal or like say something of why, because maybe people
No,
down in the comments are upset at me and they would like to hear you say something like that.
no, I basically said everything already
Okay.
in the start. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, it's just our different experience.
Yeah. All right, so it's back over to your turn, Stretch.
All right, let's see who we want to go with here. Let's go with Wolverine. He's one I think is a solid just B hero, so maybe we'll work our way down. So of course, Wolverine has an incredible stat line, right? 2/2/2, 6 recover, heals for 2 in hero form every turn, and then also starts out with a clause, which is a tremendous resource generator. It is limited to only attack events, but like that's often generating you 2 or 3 resources of value, which does come at the cost of your hit points. But then you're also getting the value of healing your hit points. So that's just very solid and strong. It's not. I honestly, he's sort of maybe on the cusp of A as I'm sort of talking myself into it. But because of kind of the one note kind of focus on attack where he really shines, that's why I've kept him at B. But he's very serviceable at thwarting with the 2 thwart, and then track by scent is also an excellent card, especially for solo, where schemes are coming in with lower starting threat. So I think just a solid hero, not the sort of super busted level I think that would take it to A. Maybe if you're a bit more inclined to a rush strategy, which I tend not to do, maybe he's more of an A hero for that. But I like Wolverine at a B.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Wolverine, I think, is one of the stronger rush heroes in the game, if not like, one of the best. Because he can take damage and then like heal, and he can also do a lot of damage and he has economy for damage specifically, right? So I'm very happy with this list right now. I'm glad that you put Wolverine in the B tier, because I kind of feel that's a hot take. I absolutely agree though, so I'm not gonna waste my turn to move Wolverine.
Hot take, too low or too high?
I think I think most people have him in the A tier. And whenever
Okay.
I put him in the B tier, I see a lot of people like tell me that he deserves to go in A tier. So I'm happy that I wasn't the one to rank Wolverine. I feel good with you taking the blame for that one. Yeah,
Yeah, he is one. If you would have put him at A, I don't think I would have moved him down. I think he's straddling that a bit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that he definitely has like a lot of good things going on for him. But just like what you're saying, I feel like that he's more one note. And I think that if he had the economy like the clause to, kind of pay for anything, that would be like a different story, right? Obviously, he might be too powerful, but the fact that it's for damage only, and especially early game, whenever you're trying to build out, because rushing is not going to be the most consistent way to defeat the strongest villains. So like we're talking about like a consistent win rate, I feel like that having that the claws on turn one may not be, super useful if you don't have any minions or anything that you want to take care of, right? If you're just getting side schemes and stuff like that, you may not even be using the claws, turn per turn. So that's why I would have in B tier, but he definitely has a good case for the A tier, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Like, I think we're ranking these sort of generally across all scenarios, but there's some like minion heavy scenarios where he might just straight up be one of the top, 5 to 10 heroes in the game. But then in some with no minions, his claws are a bit wasted. So
Yeah,
averages out a bit to a B, part of my rationale.
yeah. Totally fair. Okay, so it's back over to my turn. Um, hmm. I'm gonna do. I have no clue how you feel about this hero actually. This is gonna be an interesting one because this one I think it's one of the most controversial heroes. And I feel very strongly about my opinion for it. So I'm gonna do Deadpool here. He's X-Force, and I think that Deadpool is gonna be at the top of A tier for me in front of Psylocke. So he's a weird one because I think even in heroic, he can rush quite well. As long as you're doing, I mean, even at higher player counts, but True Soul especially, I think that he is the best rush hero in the game. And, a lot of people say that he's S tier. And I think, so I'm going to kind of defend why I don't have him in S tier. I don't think a lot of people have him like B tier or under. Usually it's like A or S. I think if you guys disagree with that, let me know down in the comments. But the only reason that Deadpool is not, absolutely broken to S tier for me is because he has ways to get defeated if you take a damage in alter ego, right? So basically, his ability, the Regenerate Degenerate, is whenever you are defeated in hero form, you set your hit point down to 1, place a permanent leverage token on the main scheme, and you flip over to Alter Ego. Well, in Alter Ego, he doesn't have that ability. So if he takes 1 damage in Alter Ego, he'll actually die, and then you'll like lose the game, right? So there's so many ways to actually do that with the more difficult scenarios. Like Ultron has a concussive blast. If it comes out as a boost, it does 1 damage to each character. So then Deadpool just dies if you get it like as a scheme activation where you're in Alter Ego or something like that. If same thing if you just review that encounter card. Magneto has the metal shards, just dealing 1 damage to each character if you review that card, right? And then there's like an expert 2 card, I believe, that like just deals damage to your character as well. So like I think because of that, and your Ronin has multiple ways to just ping off 1 damage as well. So like, he Deadpool is very, very, very good if he can do his thing. If you get unlucky and you don't get those encounter cards, he's probably S tier. But because of that RNG factor, you don't always want to rely on your hero ability. And if he's playing the game and not dying, like at all, I think he's fairly weak. He needs to lean into dying and like take advantage of that, ability to not die whenever he dies in hero form to really like maximize on his strength.
Yeah, Deadpool is the top hero that I wanted you to rank because I do not have a super strong opinion on Deadpool. Because he's just like so weird and so unique. Like by my sort of like value generation on the identity card sort of assessment, he really like doesn't have that. Like he can discard a card to tutor cards. It's kind of value generation when you swap an attack for an acceleration token. Like generally that's a little bit better, but then like the sort of things he can do, like the way he can burst finish the game, and just like not die, like that's that he has a very high win rate, I perceive. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to move him from A there. I think you said it well.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that we're helping each other out to get through this list.
Well, I do think we're having too much fun here. Let's go with our first D hero,
What?
and we'll see what you think here. So let's go with Rogue. I'm going to put Rogue in the D tier.
Do you want
So
her in front of
Rogue,
Hulk
um,
or behind Hulk?
contrary, Oh, above Hulk. I mean, I've said Hulk is my worst here. So yeah, in terms of value generation on the identity card, Rogue has literally zero. She has no um, doing extra damage, drawing cards, making resources, whatever. Her ability is like moving the touched thing around, but that more so just changes the effect of her encounter cards as opposed to like generating additional value. So she's already starting way behind. Um, Her identity specific cards, like they're fine. She has like confusing, which is good in solo. She has a thwart stat of 2. She makes good use of deft focus and X gene. But this is sort of the poster child for me of like, if we're comparing Rogue against every other hero in the game who gets some kind of free value every turn just from their identity card, Rogue's going to be near the bottom of the list for me. So, um,
Yeah.
Rogue, I've got at D.
Okay, so I have one question for you before I get into Rogue, but what do you think about Uncanny X-Men? Like, do you think that if she runs that build, isn't she stronger than like, most C2 heroes? Or do you think that even with the Uncanny X-Men build in leadership, she's still like weak?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. So, what I would say, I think you can I would have a hard time arguing against if you wanted to just say that like every X-Men should be C or higher because of the X-Men trait payoff cards. I actually don't think I'd argue against that super hard. This is maybe slightly like content based. Like for me, if we didn't put Rogue in the D tier, we would have nobody in the D tier. So I'm like, if we're even putting the D tier on this list, I'm gonna put Rogue there.
Yeah.
Um, I think if I were to look at my other heroes from across the game who are in the D tier, having the X-Men trait probably puts Rogue at the very least at the upper end of this D tier. Um, so it could be C. If you had put her at C, well, I probably still would have moved her down just so that we had at least one D hero. But yeah, no, that's a fair argument. Again, compared to other X-Men heroes, I'm confident in ranking her low.
Yeah.
Compared to every hero in the game that can't use Uncanny X-Men, maybe it should be a little higher. But
Yeah.
I'll stick with my D.
Okay. Yeah, that's entirely fine. Okay. So I feel like for me, naturally, Rogue is probably maybe like the lower end of B or high C. It's crazy that you ranked her in the D. I do think that she is the weakest X or the weakest mutant character in the game. I think I've always had her as the weakest mutant character. So it's this is a weird. I feel like we're agreeing too much. Because yeah, so I honestly I think I would put her that high up, like higher up, just because of Uncanny. I think that she can run a solid build with that. But I have not played like too many games with Rogue, but my experience with her has not been good. I feel like that she's good at not building out and like rushing because of what you're saying. Like she doesn't have that resource generation. Um, yeah, I just feel like she's very fun in multiplayer to play those shenanigans with like getting different traits and touching other heroes. But I feel like that for true solo, especially, she loses a lot. And I think that a lot of these heroes translate from multiplayer to true solo. I think that almost every single hero I would have the exact same spot. Rogue is one of those that I think changes, just because being able to grab with superpower superpower adaptation like any other identity specific card is really powerful. But not being able to grab it is like it makes it a dead card. So it's like a huge difference there, like a huge variance from solo to multiplayer. So I'm
Mhm.
actually people are gonna hate me in the comments. I'm not gonna move her, even though I don't necessarily like. I think I'll probably put her, C or like B. Um, and I actually didn't have like that content like mentality here. Like I was completely fine with every character on his list being B tier and higher. And that's kind of the
Okay.
reason why I had, Hulk here. So people would be like, why do you guys do this list and no one's under B tier? Well, I'd be like, guys, we have Hulk here. Like no one's the same level as Hulk. So like of course they're all B tier and higher. FYI, I do not think Hulk is like I personally don't think Hulk is the weakest hero in Marvel Champions. But Stretch does, so that's why we have Hulk to represent that.
And
But yeah,
for the record, for me, Hulk is in F tier, not in D tier. So I'm everyone shifted down a bit relative to just like the average, content creators I see.
yeah,
But I do think Rogue is substantially better than Hulk. It's a bit of a shame they're in the same tier here, but that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that that's a good perspective too, because people might be raging that we have Hulk and Rogue next to each other. Because I know a lot of people, don't like Hulk like mechanically and think that he's very weak. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste my turn here. I mean, get at Stretch, guys. I didn't put Rogue there in the D tier. Oh my goodness, I am shocked to see that. But yeah, overall, I feel like we are like still kind of cruising here because a lot of what you said, I agree with. So I probably wouldn't have put her that low just because of the uncanny. But yeah, okay, cool. So back over to my turn. Man, okay, I think you haven't disagreed with me at all. So I think I need to get you to disagree with me.
Okay.
There's two heroes I think I can make you skip your turn for. But I gotta play my cards correctly. Because both these heroes
Well,
I
moving
like a
moving
lot.
the other person's hero is like strictly better than placing your own. So I don't care about using my turn to move yours. So
Well, I think it depends, right? Because if I like loved Rogue and I thought she was an A tier, well now she's like, well, even if I thought she was B tier, like you kind of like screwed that up for me. So I'll be like
right.
so upset
Okay,
if I
yeah.
was a big Rogue fan. Yeah.
If I thought I was 2 tiers away, then it is good to pick my own. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna get all my D tier heroes one after another. Here
Yeah,
we
I mean,
go.
you can definitely game the system, and like if there's a hero that you think is in the C tier, but you think that I think they're like B tier or something like that, you can put them in D tier, and then I'll waste my turn to move them up. I will
That
say
occurred
though,
to me. I don't want to do that.
yeah, yeah,
If I'm putting a hero, I'm gonna put it where I think
yeah,
it should be.
I will say that no other guest has ever done that, so you'll be the first to do that, which is totally allowed. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with Magneto. Okay, yeah, I'm putting Magneto. I think that he is another S tier hero in the game. I think that he is one of the top, 5 or 6 strongest heroes in Marvel Champions, like X-Men aside. And I think that Bishop is stronger though, so I'm gonna put Magneto here in the S tier behind Bishop. I mean, Magneto, he's got everything that you want, right? He's got the double resource. He's got the, the hero ability to get a resource. He has the thwarting, he has the damage, he has a good burst damage as well. He has the economy, and I just feel like he's a well-rounded here. He has the ready to with his cape, which really rounds everything out. I feel like he's just a very super duper solid, like well-rounded hero. And he's just one of the best in the game, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. Super solid, well-rounded hero, but unfortunately, that's how I would define the A tier. So I'm actually gonna spend my turn to move him down to A. Um, I would have he's like high B, low A for me. So I would put him below Psylocke. Yeah. Like you said, he's got one resource of value for free every turn in hero form, which is incredibly strong. Good stat line, 222. He's not like super bust. I mean, he's not as busted in my opinion to put him to S, but clearly very strong. His identity specific cards, a little situation wrapped in metal and the magnetic missile. I don't think he's got a couple extra double resources, which is nice. His resource generator is a little bit expensive, so that's why I have him straddling A and B a little bit. But definitely a strong hero, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's totally fair. I mean, I might just be biased because I really like Magneto, but I do feel like he is very strong. Okay, but you skipped your turn, so it's back over to me now, and I get to rank another hero. Ooh, I wonder if you agree with me on this one. So, okay, let me try to think. Okay, so this hero to me is the second weakest X-Men. However, I think that most of the X-Men, if not all of them, are B tier or higher. So I'm gonna put this hero in the B tier, even though I think that they are one of the weakest heroes, along with Rogue. And thematically, it's Gambit. I think Gambit is so weak. Okay, that sounds bad. I'm saying he's so weak. He's not that weak. He's still gonna be like he's a good hero. He goes in a B tier for me. But he's definitely the bottom. Like it looks like he's pretty high up here because we don't have 3 right now. But he would be like down all the way in the bottom B tier for me personally. I feel like his kit just wants to do too many things. And I mean, his Creole charm, it's only an alter ego. That's his Thor event. Like, it's only an alter ego. Like, in hero form, his Thoring is not good. He has a Thor stat of 1 and no playable Thor events. And then I know there's a lot of, like, alter ego builds with him. I don't think those alter ego builds are viable if you're facing, like, a decently difficult scenario, right? I'm not even talking about, like, Venom Goblin or, like, Ronin. Like, maybe, like, Magneto or, like, Ultron. I don't think alter ego builds work against those villains if you're playing, like Gambit. So yeah, he is. I'm gonna put him in good because I don't think he's like necessarily below average, but I think for the X-Men, he's one of the weakest ones.
Sure, I think this is going to be a classic case of we basically agree on all the same things, but just by how I would like my tier list to be overall structured, I would move him down.
Okay.
I'll move him down to C. But a lot of the things you said, I mean, so I actually, if I would have ranked him myself, I would have put him at D. But he's on kind of the upper end of D because he can, the way he can like flip down, confuse the villain, and then use his alter ego ability to like pick which encounter card you get. Like that's actually some pretty strong control, I think. So that's why I was maybe even pushing him up to C, even though I initially had him in D. But yeah, the thwart stat of 1 is a really big downside in solo. If we think about like resource generation on the identity card, we have this ability of getting the charge counters in hero form, which does boost his attacks, but that's only specific to attacks. His identity specific attacks are a little bit inefficient sort of to compensate for that already. So he doesn't give huge value from the identity card. But yeah, just overall the total value generation, not crazy, signature cards. So yeah, I agree with you, pretty low. But yeah, just the way I curve my entire list, I've got him in the C or D tier. So
Yeah,
that's my turn.
yeah, sure. That's totally fine with me. You skipped your turn again. So I get to go again. Not that you think that that's even an advantage in this game. Okay, let's do, because I'm now fearful that you're just putting everyone in like the D tier and C tier. So I'm gonna do a hero that I think is, I would say he's the most underrated mutant character in the game. I like him a lot, a lot, a lot, and I actually think he's very powerful. I'm gonna rank Colossus here. I think he's A tier, guys. I think that he is so good, and I don't even think he needs to play Uncanny. Obviously, he's very good with Uncanny, but even with now with Ready for Fight and Protection, it's kind of essentially armor up, as a protection card, right? And then Injustice, he's really good as well. Like I've had very good games against Ronin, like across different aspects with Colossus. I think he's so powerful. He can take down any scenario, in true solo. I think the thing with him is that his hand size is only 4 in hero form, which is like, kind of a downside, which it definitely is. But like if you can get those alter ego flips and because of armor up, you're able to do that. I mean, you flip up for free because you get the tough and then the villain will attack you or whatever. So like it's kind of like blocking out an activation, which is just so much value. Yeah, I think Colossus is actually one of the stronger X-Men in the game. Uncanny X-Men, there or not, he's still very good. And yeah, I think he's one of the most underrated heroes. What do you think about Colossus?
Yeah, he's very strong, very strong. I would have personally put him at B, but I don't think I feel strongly enough to move him down. So I think you're good locked in there. I mean, he's obviously pretty weak at thwarting. So I think that's enough for me. Just with me keeping a stricter A tier, like that's enough of a reason for me. I would have put him in B, as well as once he gets Iron Will in play. I mean, it's just off to the races. But with the 4-card hand size, if it takes you a little while to find that, you could maybe get out to some awkward starts. So I would have put him at B, but I won't fight you on your A ranking there. So
Thank you. If you're entirely up to you, would you put him like in the B tier, like at the top B tier in front of Phoenix, like behind Wolverine, or like just in the middle somewhere?
um, close to Wolverine, I think maybe below Phoenix. Obviously, I had Phoenix in A, and you moved her down, but um, yeah, maybe pretty close to Wolverine, maybe a little bit above. I don't know.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, it's back over to your turn now.
All right, let's. Okay, so since I moved someone into C, we've got someone in every tier now. So maybe this is another hero that I've kind of played a lot and really enjoy, so I want a chance to talk about her a bit more. But I want to put Magik in the A tier. So Magik, with her hero ability, this is basically, so her hero ability is to play. Oh, okay? I gotta put her somewhere. Yeah, I actually like that spot for her. So with your hero ability, you can play a card off the top of your deck at a discount of 1. That's like 2 resources of value. It's as if you drew that top card of your deck and got a free resource in order to help play that. So that's 2 resources of value for free every single turn. And that's a once per phase ability. So sometimes you might even use that during the villain phase, which would be like 4 extra resources of value per turn, which is just bonkers. On top of that, she has good confusion. She has the mystic trait, which is really, really powerful. You get to play 3 spiritual meditation and sorcerer supreme. So that is really strong. And honestly, the only reason I don't put her in S is because a lot of her power does come from the stun and confuse statuses. So she's not going to be quite as good against the steady and stalwart villains. She does have a starting thwart stat of only 1. But I think just because of the resource generation, strong A character for me.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. I think that she would be an A tier for me. I'll probably have her in the exact same spot actually. Except obviously I'll put Magneto in the S tier. But other than that, I mean, I'm completely fine with that. Yeah, I mean, man, we are rolling here. This is kind of crazy. I'm like kind of shocked. Okay, so it's back over to my turn here. Um, hmm. So a lot of these heroes, I'm scared to rank. I don't want to be the one to rank them. And I know that you're doing that with Deadpool, leaving it up to me to rank. So like I want to kind of, keep my cards close to my chest. I don't want you to know because I want you to rank them. I really don't want to mess with some of these heroes here. Let's do Cyclops. Cyclops is a hero that I love a lot. He's one of my favorite heroes to play in Marvel Champions. He's S tier for me, but he's also going to be behind Bishop. I think Bishop is more powerful just because Bishop has that safety net of like just tanking damage and just taking hits, right? Even on turn 1, he already has that tankiness. He doesn't need as much setup. But Cyclops, I mean, he starts a little bit slow, but his thing with his allies are crazy. He has that economy that you're talking about, on turn 1 with his alter ego skill. He can just grab, that tactic card from his deck and then put it to your hand. So he starts with 7 cards in his hand on turn 1, right? That card is usually just going to be a resource, especially on turn 1. But late game it can be very valuable as well. I think Cyclops, having the ability to include X-Men, from any single aspect, X-Men allies. I mean, it's so good. So yeah, he is one of the strongest heroes in the game. I think that yeah, he's just a super strong hero.
Let's get feisty a bit. I think Cyclops is potentially the most overrated hero in the game. So I would like to use my turn to move him down to A.
Sure.
So, in general, I mean, like I said already, like I heavily sort of gatekeep the S tier. I think maybe only 2 to 4 heroes should be in it. So that's a slight part of it. But if I were ranking Cyclops on my own, I would have had him in B. So this is one of our first times of having 2 tiers apart. The other thing that people say a lot that you mentioned is being able to play every X-Men. And, I strongly believe that in any aspect, except probably protection, you can build a roster of incredibly strong allies. So I don't think he gets a huge bonus from being able to play all the other X-Men. Like, I think there probably are some, there definitely are some marginal upgrades. But like if you're playing a leadership deck, you can just play Maria Hill, Mockingbird, Hawkeye, X-23, Marrow. Like these are all exceptional allies. Like the fact that you can pull from other aspects is not something I value as much. So then he's got 1 resource generated per turn by drawing the tactics. So, that brings him already just to a solid B for me because he's getting those extra resources. But then his signature cards are just a little bit awkward to me, right? You need to have minions to attach your upgrades to. He does not have a strong resource generator in his identity-specific sit. Obviously, we talked about the alter ego ability, but the visor is very narrow in terms of what that generates a resource for. So he's still a solid hero in my book, but that just puts him at a B. I don't think he's at that broken level, in my opinion.
So I put him in the bottom of A. Is that good for you?
Well, so here's what when you mentioned Magneto as well, I kind of want to put the ones that you originally put in S that I moved down. I kind of feel bad having them lower in the A. So
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm fine if you want to move them at least up to Magneto.
Yeah.
At least between Magneto and Magik.
No, you have to be brutal with this. There's no pity. Like you get to move him wherever you want in the A tier. So it is up to you.
Okay. Yeah, let's put him right where he is then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I cannot express how much I disagree with you, but this is the game. You're entirely, entitled to your own opinion, and I respect that. Yeah, I can see your points. I think that one thing that I found out with Cyclops is I feel like if I'm not doing the X-Men stuff with him, so like Uncanny X-Men, so playing him in leadership, Uncanny X-Men, Utopia, X-Shed, all that stuff, I do feel like that he takes a downgrade if he's not including that. But I feel like for him, he's kind of like the poster child to put Utopia an uncanny in, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to comment one other thing. I know we disagree. That's okay. I feel like there's so much value in being able to have those rainbow X-Men allies because like each single one from the different aspects can like really like make this deck like well-rounded, right? Like I'm always including Sunfire, like that, aggression X-Men ally, because like that ability to pop off attachments from the villain, crazy. There's no other card, well, there's no other aspect card like that in the game. So like having that in that ally, I feel like is just so valuable.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Sunfire is definitely one of the best. Yeah.
yeah, and he's in every single Cyclops. Like for me, Sunfire's in every single Cyclops deck, right? And I can't say that for any. So Sunfire is almost like an ident specific card for Cyclops. At least that's got kind of like how I'm evaluating it, right? So like I totally get that, it's not for you. Like in terms of like, it's still an aspect card that you're putting in, and if you're playing aggression, everyone can use Sunfire. So I get that, but I think I'm giving Cyclops like more of like a bump up, kind of like evaluating those allies as a part of him because like I said, like for me, every single Cyclops deck has Sunfire. I'm almost always including Polaris. Like she's a protection X-Men ally for people that don't know. When you play, you can give any X-Men character in play a tough stats card. Like that's a decent stat line for a 3-cost ally. Giving Cyclops a tough is crazy. Yeah, and then like obviously you can put stuff like Dazzler from Justice, Blindfold. Blindfold is also an auto include for Cyclops as well. Like I wish I could include in every single X-Men deck through like, any aspect, but she's Justice, so she can help you scry the top 5 cards in counter deck, and I feel like that's so powerful to be included in every single Cyclops deck. So yeah, for me personally, that's kind of why he's going in S tier. I definitely agree. You can build a very powerful roster of like any aspect allies. So you don't need to have that rainbow, but I feel that rainbow like puts him like like really high up. Yeah.
Okay. Even seeing what you're saying, I'm still very exclusive with the S tier, but I'm not too upset about compromising on the A. Like
Yeah.
the X-Men deck itself is very strong, and he is the best at pulling that off. So, yeah, that's a strong point.
Yeah. Okay, so man, okay, that one hurt. Like I know you skipped your turn, but you're right. That one hurt me because I thought we would agree that he's S tier there. Oh boy. Okay. Who should I rank next? Uh, there's so many that I don't want to rank. Let's do Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is also a hero that I like a lot. I think he's just a solid, good B tier hero for me. Um, I don't know. I think he's this is effed up now. I think he's stronger than Phoenix. I think he's weaker than Wolverine. So like I'm kind of
Mm.
like juggling how I want to put him. I either go like full throttle and just put him like above Phoenix, or I like kind of compromise or something. I'm gonna put him. I'm putting him on top. I'm putting him on top of B tier. Yeah. So like Nightcrawler is one of the few X-Men characters that I think is actually stronger without Uncanny X-Men. I don't think that leadership is the strongest aspect. I played it and I felt like that, like he really wants to do what he wants to do, and we're not building into that defense stat and having him defend. Even against the hard difficulties, I feel like he wants to build up that defense stat and actually be defending. And I feel like you're losing so much value from the allies if you're not chump blocking with them at their like last hit point or whatever, right? So he's one of those exceptions to that rule, like just for my opinion. And yeah, I think he's just a well-rounded hero. 2 thwart, 1 attack, 3 defense. When he gets the Cutlass, he powers up even more. I really like that stat line as well. The 2-1-3 looks really cool to me. I like playing him in Justice a lot because I feel like his economy goes crazy there. When you're in Alter Ego, you can grab, that Bamf from your deck. When you're in hero form, you have to spend a resource, but you can grab the Bamf from discard pile, so you just have more versatility on where the Bamf is going. But yeah, I think that he's, just a solid B tier hero.
All right. Well, since this is the last time you're ever gonna invite me on a video, I'm just gonna fully lean into it and keep being mean to you. But I'm definitely gonna move Nightcrawler down to a C. I do have Nightcrawler at a C, so we're not 2 tiers off this time. But Nightcrawler has extremely limited value generation from his identity card. He can draw BAMFs from the deck, but you tend to run out of those pretty quickly because he's only got 3. So that is already, kind of setting him below. Sort of a good just heuristic for me is like if we're getting 1 resource every turn or more, like that's going to be like a definitionally like a B hero for me. So I think Nightcrawler is below that bar. His cards are just like a little bit awkward to me. Like he's very, BAMF dependent. So I would put him among the lower mutants. So back to you, I guess.
Yeah, if you guys don't see Stretch on my channel anymore, you guys know why. It's because of this video. No, I mean I'm totally fine disagreeing and having you back on. I don't know where you got that this is the last time you're gonna be on my channel. Maybe you don't want to come back to my
I'm
channel.
just assuming because I feel so bad being mean to you,
No.
but I'm sticking to my guns.
No, no, it's entirely okay. I'm not gonna, be actually offended, for where you rank, these pieces of, cardboard paper. It is entirely okay. Do not feel bad.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
it still hurt a little bit though. It still hurt a little bit, but yeah. Just to make sure you want.
Especially when you said that you have him above Phoenix. That was
Oh yeah.
I know that hurts even more.
Do you want him in front of this guy right here?
Yeah, I would put him in front of Gambit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
The
Okay.
two thwart alone is almost enough to, and the drawing cards occasionally in alter ego is solid.
Yeah. Okay. Man, we started this list so strong, and now
How
things
many in a
are
row have I moved for you?
quite a lot. So we have
Cyclops,
Nightcrawler,
Nightcrawler, Gambit.
Cyclops.
Are those the last three we did?
I don't
I don't
even
know.
remember the last two that we did. You
I
guys know
placed
down in comments.
Magik
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, I think three in a. I think I got three in a row, or maybe two in a row.
Okay.
But anyways, continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's do another one here. I'm gonna keep doing heroes that I like because I feel like this stinks now because now you're not ranking them, so like I might be forced to rank the ones that I don't want to rank. Let's do Iceman here. Iceman I like a lot. Whenever I first played him, I like wasn't the biggest fan of him, but like he's grown. Or when I first played him, I was a big fan, and then like it kind of like died out, and now I'm like a big fan again. So like I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing with Iceman, but I think that he's also. I think this is a pretty standard take. I think he's B tier. I think that you would agree. I think everyone would agree, but who knows what Stretch has to say here. I'm gonna put him behind Wolverine here in the B tier. Yeah, I mean he's a solid, X-Men character. He has snow clones, which can stay in play. He gives frostbite to people. He has really good control, like above average control with the frozen solid. Being able to block a scheme activation is crazy because it blocks out, through it works in stalwart and steady as well, right? Because it's not like a confused status, which I love stuff like that. Yeah, but then like he's lacking because his stat line is 1 2 2, which is not even 1 2 3, which is like like having the six across all the stats is kind of like your average. So a little bit under average there. He can get it up with his ice slide though. But I'm not a big fan of that card anyways because when you flip down, you shuffle it back into your deck. Yeah, I mean he's just a solid hero for me. I'm not the biggest fan of his resource generators, but I do like crowd kinetic perception. It's not the most consistent card because you can't always hit an ice card. But when you do, it feels very nice to get that ready. Yeah, he's just a solid hero for me.
Say with me, everybody. Move him down.
What?
I'm gonna move him down.
Okay.
Move him down to C. This is the last D tier mutant I had, so this is the last time that I'm gonna like be really adamant about moving your character down. Iceman has basically no value generation from his identity card. He can put the frostbites around, but it's bad. It feels bad to put frostbite on a minion because ideally we're killing them before the next villain phase. And it feels bad to put them on the villain because then we're attacking the villain, which is a generally weak use of the basic power for the first 75% of the game. And all of his identity specific cards are pretty inefficient. He's got a couple of good resource generators, but Chill Out is an inefficient thwart. Yeah, the ice wall is inefficient. The attack's actually okay, especially if you've got frostbite on someone first. But yeah, this is another one where we were off by 2, so I just feel compelled to move him
by
down.
2. Wait, he's D tier for you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Thwart stat of 1, no value generation.
Do you want him below Gambit or like where's he going in the C tier for you?
Let's I think he's he's a little I had him on my initial list below Gambit, so
Okay.
I'll put him below Gambit.
Dang it. Crazy, dude. Maybe I shouldn't have ranked the ones I like. Maybe I should rank the ones I don't like. Okay.
But that's so sorry, this is probably spoiling it, but I have no more heroes that I would put in D. So
okay.
There's a less likely chance that I'll move any of your characters now.
All right, man. I don't believe you at all, dude.
I think should be in like B, maybe.
Okay. Man. Okay. I just don't want you to move my characters anymore, cause like, it feels like I'm not getting what I want in this list. Let me think. Let me think here. Oh, we're getting like down to that thing where like I want you to rank these characters here. Oh man. Okay. Let's do. Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna do Shadowcat. Shadowcat's not one that I wanted to rank. I wanted you to rank Shadowcat. But I'm gonna be the one that does it, I guess. All right. I guess it's all me. Um, Man. Okay. Shadowcat may be in this whole list one of the most beloved heroes. I know this. People always tell me in the comments how much they love Shadowcat, how I'm underestimating her. Well, I'm just gonna put in the B tier. I mean, because I think that she's a solid hero, a good hero going into B tier. I'm putting the bottom of B tier though. I think that I think on paper her value like looks very good to be able to whenever she's defending take no damage from the attack, right? So Ronin hits her for 13 damage. She takes 0 if she's defending. That's very very good, but I feel like that she doesn't have the resources to do that multiple times, and if the villain gets like surprise activations. And I definitely don't think that she's able to do that in multiplayer, even though this is a true solo tier list, because people are like, oh, Shadowcat's defending for the whole table. Like, I'm like, okay, like, is the villain like hitting for like, 3 or 4, every single hit? Because like, if the villain's hitting for like 5, 6, and even like, weaker scenarios can get, higher numbers, with their boost, with like, double boost card, stuff like that. So like, I don't know. Like, for me, Shadowcat, she's decent. I think that she is, for me, you said Cyclops is the most overrated here on this list. I think Shadowcat is the most overrated X-Men character. But yeah, I mean, I think that she's still
Interesting.
solid. I've had fun with her. She is not my favorite. I don't think that she's that powerful, so she goes in a B tier for me.
Okay, I've not seen, well, in terms of being overrated, I've not seen too many people like sing her praises. So I don't know. That's interesting. You think that. So I'm gonna leave Shadowcat there, as surprising as it may be. So I did. If I was ranking Shadowcat myself, I had her as my top C hero. But I think it's just another case of we agree on a lot, but just on my curve, it would be a C. She gets a resource every turn, somewhat restrictive because it's got to be for an attack or a defense, and she might be stuck in the wrong form. But the ability to take no damage while defending is also like resource generation. So that's just very solid. She's got pretty solid signature cards. So yeah, I'm good to keep Shadowcat there.
Guys, listen to this. Stretch has Shadowcat in the C tier. Okay, guys, like don't get at me for the Shadowcat hate. Okay, get at that guy up there.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. So it's back over to your turn for the first time in like I don't know 30 minutes. I don't know how long it's been since you had a turn.
yeah, yeah. Here we go. Okay, let's go. All right. This is a hero I'm very fond of with Storm. I'm very torn on Storm. She's like right on the A B sort of cutoff for me. Let's put her in B, I think. Um, so Storm has incredible value generation, which is not only like just high in terms of output, but also extremely flexible. So she can switch her weather every turn for like a free draw, a free 2 threat removal, or a free 2 damage. Sometimes the draw even comes with removing a status, so that's incredibly strong. Um, her like kind of burst, her like mini burst damage potential is like probably the most incredible thing. Like flipping to Thunderstorm, getting 2 damage, attacking for 3, buffing an ally or 2 for an extra point of attack. Like that's really incredible for her. She maybe comes out a little bit weak out of the gate with thwarting. So I would not hate if you moved Storm up to A at all. But I think just with me being a bit more restrictive on my tiers, I've got her in the B, but very solid, strong character.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's a hero that I did not want to rank either. I think I don't know, like we're probably in like different communities. I see some people say that she should be an S tier hero, that she's like top 3, top 5 strongest heroes in the game, and I don't think she is. I think that she's in a B tier. I think that where you put her is a great spot for her. I feel like most people would say that she's at least A tier. My perception of the community perception could be entirely off. You're surprised me right now with like your takes. Like I'm like blown away right now by like maybe like 70% of like the stuff that you're saying. Even the stuff you agree with me with, I thought I was saying a hot take. So whenever you agree with me, I'm like, oh, I'm shocked that you agree with me. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to really add on Storm. I think that she has a good control. I think that she's one of the heroes that goes up in multiplayer as well. Even though she's not necessarily even bad in solo, it's just that being able to affect more characters, makes her more powerful. Yeah, I mean, I think that she needs a little bit of build out. She needs her crown. She needs like other stuff, to like get going, like her cape. But once she gets that, she's gonna start rolling. One weird card with her, Aurora's Garden, is like the worst card in the game. Like I don't. Okay, that's a hot take. It's not the worst card in the game. It's like it just feels so lackluster. Okay, so I do play that card whenever I get it, and like when I flip down, I'm using it, like twice, right? Because when I flip down and the next turn I start off an alter ego. But it's like, what is up with this card that like heals half of Aunt May and like less than like almost any other? It's like the worst alter ego healing card in the game. And we have so many good ones like Project Rebirth for Venom. We now have like Shuri's Queen Ramonda, like and like Aunt May. Like I just don't get why the Garden is so lackluster compared to those cards. But yeah, I mean that's just like a random like tangent there from Storm. But yeah, I don't really have any other things to say about
For what
Storm.
it's worth, I think Aurora's Garden is very good and the right balance.
Mm,
Aunt May is like one of the best cards in the game. So maybe not the most fair comparison. The Garden's definitely fine in my opinion.
yeah. No, I mean I think that's a good point. Like yeah, I do play it. Like I don't try to skip playing it because I find it very useful. Maybe it's just feeling the abuse of using Aunt May and like Project Rebirth and all that stuff makes me feel like it's
Yeah.
like lackluster. Yeah, I probably got to especially playing a bunch of Peter Parker Spider-Man, I think definitely skews my perception of what a healing card should be.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so yeah, it's back over to my turn then, right? Yeah,
You're
you
not going
rank
to
Storm.
move it just so that you don't have to place another hero by yourself.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I may
Just
use
make
that
me
strategy a little bit
go on the
later.
record more.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good strategy. I may do it later, cause I mean Storm's not one that I want in A tier. Like she's B tier for me. But if I drop to a C tier, people are gonna be upset with me. So like I don't even think that she's C tier. So it's just kind of like spiting to like put her in a C tier, just like play the game, which I'm not gonna do. So I think I'm gonna hold my cards a little bit longer, and we'll see what will happen with the rest of this. So I'm gonna rank Jubilee. Ju- I feel you're gonna drop her, but okay, this is where I believe Jubilee goes. I believe Jubilee is a B tier X-Men character. I think that she's solid. I think that as long as the enemy is not stalwart, she's like very like she can do the stunning confuses. And in True Soul, I mean that's just so much value, right? She can definitely overpower the easier scenarios, and even against like slightly more difficult scenarios and like enemies with steady, she still has enough stats in her kit to be able to stun and confuse them. Yeah, I mean she's like squishy, but like she has high economy as well. She has decent versatility. Her stat line's not that great, but you can build that out. So yeah, I mean I think that she's a solid beach hero. Definitely not one of the strongest mutants, but not one of the weakest either.
Yeah, this is tricky for me. In my initial ranking, I do have Jubilee in C. You can probably guess why. She has zero resource generation on her identity card. So obviously the hero ability like makes a resource, but you have to exhaust. So that's neutral. She does have three double resources though, so that is very strong. Um, I am going to spend my turn to move her down.
No.
Um,
Okay.
because she's going to be the last. She's the last.
Stop
Actually,
saying
okay,
that.
I guess we don't have we don't have that many heroes left anyways. But I am gonna move her down for
Okay.
my turn. Um, yeah, the steady stalwart thing is part of it. The confuse is very strong. For a hot minute, I did have her at D actually,
Oh
but
my.
then the confusion was enough to say maybe I should go put her at C. The usual kind of X-Men stuff. Um, but yeah, I think just the cards are a bit underwhelming. But yeah, the no net resource generation
Yeah.
on the identity card is kind of enough for me to keep a hero below the B tier for me.
Yeah. Do you want her in the bottom C here, or you want to like higher up?
Um, let's put her just below Nightcrawler.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Back on me. Okay. There's only 4 heroes left. We're getting to the end game here, and I really don't want to rank some of these. So we'll see if I can figure a way out of this situation. Okay. I'm gonna rank Angel. I'm gonna rank Angel. Man. Angel's tough. I think that whenever I first played Angel, he was A tier for me. But I think playing him more, I think he's B tier for me now. Like he's on paper, he's similar to Phoenix. I feel like on paper he looks so good. The techno organic wings looks insane. But I feel actually playing the hero, I don't feel like the things that just don't work out exactly how I want him to. And his obligation is rough, like that hazard icon. I don't know. Like I feel like he's a fun hero. I feel like that he wants to go at such a high tempo, and I always thought I could just slow him down if I wanted to and play at like a more slower tempo if I need to, control those higher difficulty scenarios more. But I feel like he has trouble like controlling compared to like just pushing and like rushing. I think he's a very good rush hero. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in the top of B tier here. And yeah, I have no clue what you're gonna do. I think that you can definitely make an argument for him in A, but that's where I'll put him.
I'm gonna leave him there. B is exactly where I have Angel. He's got value generation, but it's a bit situational. He's got to play aerial cards. He's another one where his own aerial cards, though, they're a little bit sort of inefficient, almost like to make up for the bonuses that he gets with for playing aerial cards. There's also like, I mean, maybe we'll look a few years from now and say, "Whoa, aerial is like the strongest trait to have." But at this stage in the game, like, there's not like a ton of busted aerial aspect and basic cards to play that would really make him pop off of triggering those abilities like every single turn. So I think, yeah, I think Angel is just a solid stand-up B. I see a lot of people overrating, or I see a lot of people rating him very highly. So I'm happy that I didn't have to. I was prepared to knock you down on this one again, but I'm perfectly happy with right at a B.
Nice. Okay.
I'll rank X23. She's another one. I put her very similar to Storm. I'm gonna end up dropping her in the B tier. Um, let me put her just behind Storm. She's another one. Like if you moved her up to A, I wouldn't raise too much of a fit, but she has good, value generation from her ability to, ready. I forget which part. Okay, her identity card, it's when she takes damage, she readies, but she gets the permanent claws upgrade to take damage to boost her attack.
Yeah.
So she just has extremely good output for both thwarting and attacking. Her cards are just pretty solid overall. One of the themes, so the characters that I've been putting in A throughout this are the ones that I think are generating one or more resources of value per turn, and have a status application. So when I, restrict my A tier, like she was one of the heroes who, like, if I just did a quick pass through all the heroes, I'd probably put her on A just based off vibes. But when I saw how big my A tier was, like, she's one of the ones I moved down to B. So I wouldn't argue too much if you wanted to move her back up to A, but I think just a really solid, strong B hero for me.
Yeah. I do want to ask you a question about her that I think a lot of people are also wondering. So I've heard this a lot about her. A lot of people say that Sidekick Honey Badger with X23 is the strongest build of Marvel Champions. Like she's S tier with that. What do you have to say to Sidekick Honey Badger or like Voltroning her?
Yeah, that's incredibly strong. Yeah, I maybe don't have enough, once you go at the like deck level as opposed to the hero level, I feel like I need more hands-on experience to actually like make that claim. Wouldn't surprise me if that's true. I think, it's very strong. It did cross my mind that that's the strongest thing to do with X23. If we treat every hero as like what's the strongest thing they could do, like we would bump a lot of these heroes up.
Yeah.
No, that's a very strong deck. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so I actually, oh man, okay, I actually don't agree with that. I think that Sidekick Honey Badger is overrated. And think that, oh man, I'm gonna offend so many people. I think that anyone that plays that build gets so lucky to not get her obligation. Because that obligation kills your sidekick. If you put like 3 upgrades on Honey Badger, you lose all of them. Like that's so much value lost the moment that you get the obligation, which steals her ally, right?
I don't even know what it does off the top of my head. Does it make her discarded or it gets like tucked under?
Yeah, it tucked. Yeah, so basically if she reviews the obligation, it gets tucked. And guess what? When you make a basic recovery in Alter Ego to get rid of it, you discard it. So it can't just come back out every single, every single deck pass of the encounter deck, right? So it's like never permanently removed.
You can
Like,
shuffle her in, and you can suit up, and yeah, you
yeah,
got some tricks, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like for Cyclops, his visor, once you find your lost visor, it's removed in the game. So like I feel very good having my visor out after that. But then like for Honey Badger or for X23, there's nothing I can ever do to permanently remove. Well, there are like tricky ways to do it, but if I'm building a deck for that, I'm not Voltroning because I'm not playing leadership, right? I'm probably playing Justice to be able to do that. So, but one thing that you said about suit up, I will say this: I am gonna waste my turn here to move X23 up because my favorite build with X23 is Uncanny X-Men with Children of the Atom. And to me, a Honey Badger recursion is insanely powerful and more powerful than the Psychic build. Because Honey Badger herself doesn't want to get buffed up, right? She just wants to take damage and ready up a lot. So with Sisterhood, that's X23's card, you can recur Honey Badger every single time that she dies straight to your hand. You can tutor her back to your hand. So if she's only one cost because she's an X-Men character with Uncanny X-Men and you have Children of the Atom in play, then you can like get so many activations out of her without even putting an attachment on her. And you can just, have like get raised and stuff like that. And she can activate multiple times per turn. And then you just let her die, if her obligation comes or whatever, it doesn't matter. You just tutor her right back up and then play her for one cost. So I actually think that X23 is an A tier level, hero in Marvel Champions. Although I don't think Sidekick is the build for her. That's just my personal opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna waste my turn. I'm gonna move her up. Man, this is tough because Cyclops is S tier, right? So it's like, where does X23 go? Um, she goes behind Cyclops because he's S tier. I cannot put her in front of Cyclops. Yeah, so I'm just gonna my turn there to move her up.
All right. That sounds a little. I don't know. It's like you got to do a little bit more setup with that than with the sidekick build, and you're healing her and getting extra readies out of her all the time with the sidekick build. So yeah, I don't know, but A is where it is. All right. Well, so I got Cable and Domino here. I'll go with Domino. I'll put Domino in the B tier. She was one. Well, she's one. I'm a bit unsure of my evaluation there, so saving her for the end here. But because she doesn't really have, as I've been defining it this whole video, she doesn't really have like the kind of raw value generation. But she's so flexible with all of the card swapping that she can really do exactly what she wants to do every turn. She also, among the heroes on this list, she gets maybe the biggest boost from like the kinds of aspect and basic cards she can maximize. So with White Fox and Digging Deep, Domino is insane. Like that, I kind of count that as like free value generation for her. Like being able to very consistently discard those cards from the top of your deck and just draw them into hand, or in the case of White Fox, put it right into play. Like that's super powerful. She's got a triple resource, which is really good. She doesn't have any like straight up resource generators, I don't think. Her cards are overall solid. So I just think a solid, B character.
Okay, where do you want to put her in the B tier?
I'll put her maybe above Shadowcat. Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Okay, dang it. Oh man. Okay. I don't think I really disagree with that. Yeah, I think that she's B tier. Oh boy. Okay, so we got Cable last. So I was trying to game you with Cable because I wanted you to rank him so I could put him where I wanted to put him in case you didn't. But now I'm left with Cable. So I mean, you guys already know if you guys watch my channel. Cable I think is the strongest hero in Marvel Champions. He's S tier. I mean, I don't really need to say too much. I'm gonna put him in front of Spider-Ham as the top-notch hero, in the game. I feel like his temple, or I'll say this, he's the most consistent hero in the entire game of Marvel Champions, because he is the only hero in the game where you can start off with any support or like any upgrade that you want. So if you want to do a specific build like with this, like some people want to do a Web of Life and Destiny build, well, Cable is your best bet for that, even better than Web Warriors because you can get that on turn 1 for sure with build support, right? If you want to lead into the guns, you can get out your lock and load, right? Whatever that you want to build, you can guarantee getting that on turn 1 with that player side scheme. Whenever I'm playing with Cable, I want at least 10 cards that will give him that one extra thwart to clear off a in true solo a 3 per player threat side scheme on turn 1. And often I'm clearing 2-3 side schemes on that turn 1 if I can draw one of those cards. I always say if in my hand I can draw one of these 4 cards, either a Nick Fury, a Grey Malkin, a build support, or a call for backup, if I can draw one of those, like that turn one is gonna like explode, right? And having four chances to like draw that is crazy because whatever one I draw, I can grab the other one with his Soldier X ability. So just having that star is crazy. I beat 100% win rate, 1 out of 1, so not a great sample size, but standard 2, expert 2 Ronin with the Infinity Gauntlet, with Cable, and I think I had pretty bad luck as well with the encounter cards because I precognition, I think, or blindfolded, something like that on turn one, and basically there was 2 overkill boosts like back to back, to where like and Ronin gets 2 boost cards whenever he activates, so like I knew I was getting overkill like on that first attack no matter what, and then, like Ronin swings super hard, so like yeah, it was like there's no way to prevent that overkill there, so I feel like that's like despite that, like overkill turn one with the activation, that's the worst lineup that you can get against that scenario. So yeah, I mean, I probably went too long on that, but I think Cable is all of that strongest hero in the game.
All right. Well, my plan worked to perfection. Not because I want to move Cable, but because I knew you would just have a better description of him than I can, because I think you have more experiences with him. So I'm happy to leave Cable there. He gets this huge starting boost of getting either build support or call for backup in play for free, which is like a 2 resources on the first turn. And then that can either get, Gray Malkin, which is very strong, 2 resources per turn, or, Nick Fury, just very strong to start the game with. I will say I went back and rewatched your game against Ronin. Ronin is interesting with Cable because you start with the Power Stone, which Cable might be like one of the best heroes in the game to take advantage of starting with the Power Stone. So I'm curious to see more about how Cable would do against other, equivalently difficult, scenarios where I don't think any scenario is more difficult, like as recommended than Ronin, but we can add Flight and Infinity Gauntlet and stuff to other scenarios to make them just as hard. Like, I'm curious just to see what he does in more situations before I put him in my own S tier. He's one of those where he's like, in order to get into S tier for me, sort of like I have to prove it to myself. So he's like on the cusp of A tier where I just need to kind of see it myself a bit more to put him in S. But I know you've got, a strong opinion there. So I do not feel like I need to move Cable down at all. And I think that's our list. I'm pretty happy that we ended up with a decent amount in C and D. Most of that being from me. So
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about our list?
No, I mean, Stretch, I'm definitely having you back on the channel if you want to come back, because man, to give me Cable in the S tier, I mean, that's all I can ask for. I mean, you are the best. Thank you for allowing me to get Cable up there. That was kind of like I left him for so long because I wanted you to put him somewhere so that I could move him to the S tier. So yeah, just because you did that, man, thank you so much. If it were up to you, where would you put Cable in this list?
Like I said, I would put him at A, but I kind of explained why. It's just like S is like so exclusive to me. Like,
Yeah.
like the existence of an S tier for anything in life is like not guaranteed. Like there has to be something that just absolutely blows you away to put it to S. So I know you've experienced that for yourself. Just by my like raw evaluation, he's obviously very strong, but not quite reached sort of crossed that threshold for me yet. But like I don't agree with anything like you've specifically said. Just a tier definition difference.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if anyone in the comments, if anyone watching this is thinking, man, Stretch is so mean, like, he keeps moving everything down. Guys, he's not mean. Look at how generous he is. He let me put Cable up here in the S tier. Yeah, I'm loving this list. I mean, Cable, just getting Cable up there made me feel very happy. The biggest thing that I'm like kind of sad about is Cyclops down here in the A tier. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a tough pill for me to swallow. But yeah, everything else, I think it looks pretty like good. Like even though a lot of these heroes I will bump up, I still think that they are near the bottom of X-Men characters. And yeah, I'm glad that I wasn't the one that put them there as well. But yeah, I am pretty happy with this list. I feel like this is a very good list for X-Men characters, and I'm very interested to hear your opinion on them because I had no clue that you had these thoughts for these heroes. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I have intentionally not made. I mean, it's sort of a rite of passage for content creators to make their power ranking tier list. But I'm too much of a scientist to say that like I don't have enough real data to to really like sort of take a stand with most of these heroes. So, I do the best I can by evaluating the cards, but I've not gone on record with a lot of these heroes yet. And in the context of my heroic challenge on my channel, I really play most heroes for like a single match, and then I move on to a new hero. So when that's done, I really look forward to spending more time with these individual heroes to like really test them in a bunch of different situations and get some more nuanced opinions on how strong they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun to do.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Stretch, I wanted to ask you a question here because I didn't know that you had this opinion, but like kind of going through this list with you, I kind of feel like this is what you feel like. I don't think that you think that there's power creep in Marvel Champions because you kind of evaluate the X-Men here, kind of like how I think like the representation of Marvel Champions would be. Like a lot of people, myself included, would put most X-Men like B tier and above, but you actually have some in the C tier and D tier. So do you think that there is power creep in Marvel Champions?
Not as I would define power creep. I define power creep as new cards being strictly better than old cards in a way that makes you like never play those old cards again. And by my definition, that sort of can't apply to heroes because if power creep and by my definition would be they make a new Iceman hero that's got two thwart and his thwart event removes an extra thwart. So so a separate question, I guess, just a semantic question of what I actually call power creep. A separate question would be if heroes are getting better over time. I would say that they make fewer like D's and F's than they did in some of the early days. Like they just kind of know what makes a good hero. But I think they also know what makes, a busted hero. So I think they're in a pretty consistent band now. Like, yes, if you look at Hulk or Hawkeye, they're some of the earliest heroes in the game. And, they wouldn't release those heroes exactly the same today. But I don't really call that power creep.
Yeah, I think that is so well said. I completely agree. Like, I don't consider that power creep either. I don't think that there is power creep in Marvel Champions, but I think that the design is more like streamlined. Everything's kind of more in that, middle range now. So yeah.
It's actually crazy. This is kind of what I said. It's actually crazy. I really can't think of like a single card released in the last couple of years that's like strictly better. Like there's literally not a card there's no aggression attack that's strictly better than uppercut because
Yeah.
it might do more damage, but it can only do a minion. Or there's a new card, Savage Strike, coming out that does more damage, but your hero has to be doing a basic attack. Like they just refuse in a really impressive way to power creep specific cards out of the game. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, decks are necessarily going to get better over time as you get more options. Like there's literally no way to not have that happen in your game. But to the extent that power creep is possible, they've done basically as little as you can possibly do, in my opinion.
Yeah, kudos to Fantasy Flight Games. I totally agree with that, which is crazy for how long the game has been. I think that a lot of people are misconstruing, the strength index going up. It's not necessarily the power of the cards, but it's having that expanded card pool, right? Like Nick Fury is still the strongest card in the game, but like, not being able to pair Nick Fury with like, I don't know, whatever, like X card that's like these new allies now. You just have more allies, you have more upgrades, more supports, and having the options, I think, can make for a more powerful deck. Yeah, that's an interesting discussion, probably for another day. But yeah, thank you so much, Stretch, for coming on for his tier list. Guys, please go follow Stretch22. I'll put the links to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. Go give him a follow and let us know down in comments what you guys think about this list here. Are you guys happy with it? I am pretty happy with this. I'll see you guys all in the next video.
Thanks. See ya.